Hello people, this is our Cobra. This is Let's Play the Talos Principle Blind. Last time we cleared this room. Today we'll try to clear this room, and hopefully we can get the star here, because that means I can unlock the thing back in the first world. And wouldn't that just be splendid? Yes, I quite agree. Now, let's see what the theme is this time. Oh.
You have solved many of the mysteries of this land.
Yes.
The road before you is still long and many gates remain closed.
I know.
But take comfort in your accomplishment.
I am.
And in your creator's pride.
Don't care. Whatever's going on here, Oh wait, the graphics just popped in. A little late on the trigger there, Elohim. Whatever's going on here, I'm sure it has something to do with the tower. Everything is telling us not to go there, but everything indicates that we must. Unless you're wrong and Elohim's right, or you're both wrong, or there is no right. I think you've been taking the thing in the archive too seriously. I don't know. There are options. But you know, sometimes you just have to, try, I guess. Can't always live in fear of being wrong. Speaking of this guy... Ah, you're back. Good. I've been thinking about how I can help you. In light of everything you said, I'm certain someone has to. What I say is that you convinced me conscious is a contradictory concept and is therefore not real. What do you think? I don't, apparently. Very droll. What this conclusion means is that the certification program you undertook has been rendered obsolete. We can't test for something that doesn't exist. Therefore, you, along with quite a lot of other things, have been recategorized as a person. Your profile can thus be updated with an administrative privilege. Thank you. No doubt you'll be off doing administrative things soon enough, so I wonder if before I let you go, you'll do me one favor. I have a final question for you. What are you doing? Why are you doing all this? What's the point? I want the truth, I suppose. I want to know. I'm not sure just what you'll find. A novel sense of truth will no doubt help you make sense of it. Taking as a profile, and it looks as if your ideas are becoming somewhat pliant. Very good. I have one last request. Will you come back and speak to me sometime? No doubt. Okay, since you're eager to get going, let's do this. Your account have been updated. Here are the details. Conflicts. All conflicts have been resolved by the administrator. Psychological profile. You are a person. You are perfect, just the way you are. You are everything you can be already. You do not have to pretend you are anything else. You are the same as everyone else, but you're all unique. You are unique, just like everybody else. Administrator status has excellent advanced functionalities, networking, troubleshooting. It is a thing. How do we know consciousness, free will, and all that exists? I don't. I like to think I have free will. I like to think that I'm conscious. I like to think that I'm not just the product of an endless domino effect created by particles set in motion by a Big Bang, whose destination has always been preordained by the laws of physics, that the firing of my neurons and the motions of my limbs haven't all been preordained by the mathematics of the universe. That all my choices are not just the way the programming of my biological computer is meant to operate. That, everything ahead is not already determined, but that I have influence, and it's not just another, part of it. But truth is, I don't know. Honestly, it could be. It could be it harks back to that. Can a system of cans emulate consciousness, even though they have no choice but just follow the path? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. The idea that I'm not actually in control, but I'm just the product of endless laws and mathematics is kind of scary. And I can understand why many would, shy away from it. But I don't know. And I don't think anyone could know. I'm not certain of that either, though. Many things have been proven and unproven. But who knows really? Who really knows? Some would say God. Some would say that, certain smart people would know. Some say that they would say that, we will never find out. Don't know. I'm smart, not that smart. I'm a human too, after all. But it is an interesting subject. In either case, I'm not afraid to forge onwards. Even if that courage is just a fabrication of chemicals and biological predeterminism. But, if that's how the world is, if we are all just, going through the motions, not having free will, then that's just how it is. I don't think there's anything we can really do about it. Maybe we can invent free will at some point. And if we do have free will, well, then we can just choose to move on. and all is fine. Either way, not much to do about it, I suppose. It's an interesting thing to think about, but I don't suppose there's much one can do about it, whatever the answer may be. As it turns out, only some of us free will, then things will get interesting. But I'm just speculating. Access COM portal. Loading Milton Library Assistant done. Initiating plain language interface done. Support session open. Hello, Administrator. I think you would like to assist in the communication portal. I see that you have a number of pending communications. I'll take a look at it right now. Access this communication portal, network connection. Unknown aura. Message received as string. Alright. Display. Message. Hello. Who are you? Don't know exactly. Woke up here. Don't remember. Who are you? Same boat. I understand. Pending. Error. Pending. Ah, damn it. Again soon. You'll receive a notification when the connection is reestablished. Terminating support lesson. Done. Resume library time session. Done. You know, for all I know, it could be the library assistant who just communicated with me. But, you know, I don't know that. I can have the suspicion, but, you know, I can have suspicions about many things. Being critical is important, but assuming everything is not what it is really just the quickest way to get into the loony bin, because you're just afraid of everything. Now, being critical is important, but you shouldn't be critical to the point where you can't accept anything. That's just stupid. For Series 7. Tell me of the fearsome demons of the Duat, the dying man said to the wise scribe. Though their terrible forms are loathsome to behold, they are not evil, for they are the servants of the gods. Truly they are the blessed doorkeepers and guardians of the holy paths. Their charge is to judge whether we are worthy to pass the gates that lead to Aro, and so the challenge is with riddles on combat. Is this true of all the beings who live in the Duat? Some say that it is not so. That there are ancient gods whose name have been forgotten, and spirits of darkness whose name none have ever known, and that these must be avoided at all costs. But others say that these too serve a greater purpose in ways that Sirius has not revealed to us. And what are the hidden paths that are taken by when the... Coming soon! From Rob McLean Institute of Applied Pneumatics to Mom. Subject coming soon, your son in 3D. Hey Mom, promise I'll be home soon, maybe a couple of weeks. I know, but what we're doing here is important and the team needs my help. I'm not going to wait until it's too late, I promise, but there's so much we have to set up, so much that has to work for a very, very long time. Because I wanted to work on one of these supercomputers, and believe me, EL is pretty much the best place. I'm Team Mom, it's like I'm working with rock stars and mad geniuses. Except nobody's heard of them outside science journals, of course, but that would have totally geeking out if you knew. Maybe I can tell him about this soon, huh? Love, Rob. Oh, that's sweet. Block 24, alive. What is the point of being alive? I know it's an old question and not one that's easy to answer. But if you're reading this, you are alive, and someday you will stop being alive. Both of these facts are incontrovertible. So what about it then? Don't you wonder? Do you just want to go from not existing to not existing again without ever considering why? You, right now, as you sit there reading this, why do you exist? What is the purpose of your life? Do you have one? Should you have one? Is it better to have a purpose or not? When you approach death, will you feel that your life had meaning? So why? If not, why not? What defines a life was good or not? You may seem abstract right now, but the moment you are just before death will come is inevitable. If you don't ask yourself these questions, how will you face that one? Well, the way I see it, from my perspective of the universe, as an atheist among all things, the way I see it, the universe, the uncaring, cold universe with everything it has not given me a purpose to exist other than to propagate my genes. That is the purpose of a living things and the genetic code, to evolve the species, to better adapt. That's the most purpose I've gotten, to get busy. But in a sense, that's kind of like saying water has a purpose of following gravity and such. What else? That's just laws of physics and all that. But a deeper meaning or something like that, no, that I have not been given. And you know what, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the feeling that I can find that myself, that I myself can define what my meaning in life is. Goes back to that whole, I like the idea of having free will. Oh, I guess this one was decommissioned. Having free will also means to a certain degree that I choose what the meaning is in my life, and I like that idea. Even if it is just a comfortable pipe dream, I suppose. I don't know if it is. I hope it's not. but I don't know. And knowing you don't know is the beginning of wisdom. Maybe I'll never really know if I had a grand purpose or not, but that's how things are, I suppose. Okay, so it's not so much an oasis as a single island in the middle of flooded ruins. Doesn't seem like there's much else around here. Some forgotten ruins. Well, I was part of that puzzle, I think. Maybe not. I should probably remember this is over here when I get to that puzzle. That might be important. Especially since I'm trying to get a star. But you know, it doesn't really seem like this. Oh, is there something? It is something. Hello. Oh, 4. That's new. Hippocratic corpus. Men ought to know that from nothing else but the brain comes joy, delights, laughter, and sports, and sorrows, griefs, despondency, and lamentation. And from this, in an essential manner, we acquire wisdom and knowledge, and see and hear, and know what are foul and what are fair, what are bad and what are good, what are sweet and what are unsavory. Some we discriminate by habit, and some we perceive by their utility. By this we distinguish objects of relish and disrelish, according to the seasons, and the same things do not always please to us. And by the same organ we become mad and delirious, and fierce and terrors assail us, some by night and some by day, and dreams and untimely wanderings, and cares that are not suitable, and ignorance of present circumstances, destitute and unskillfulness. That's one way to phrase it. Chesterton brain. The human brain is a machine for coming to conclusions. If it cannot come to conclusion, it is rusty. When we hear of a man too clever to believe, we are hearing of something having almost the character of a contradiction in terms. It is like hearing of a nail that was too good to hold down a carpet, or a bolt that was too strong to keep a door shut. Man can hardly be defined after the fashion of Carlyle as an animal that makes tools. Ants and beavers and many other animals make tools. In the sense that they make an apparatus, man can be defined as an animal that makes dogmas. As he pounds doctrines on doctrines and conclusions on conclusions and formation of some tremendous scheme of philosophy and religion, he is, in the only legitimate sense in which that expression is capable, becoming more and more human. When he drops one doctrine after another in a refined skepticism, when he declines to tie himself to a system, when he says that he has outgrown definitions, when he says that he disbelieves in finality, when in his own imagination he sits as God, holding no form of creed but contemplating all, then is by that very process sinking slowly backwards into the vagueness of the vagrant animals and the unconsciousness of the grass. Trees have no dogmas. Turnips are singularly broad-minded. I disagree. I really disagree. Turnips are not broad-minded. Turnips do not care. Trees have no dogmas, because, well, they too do not care. Bronstein brain. The human brain is a product of development of matter, and at the same time it is an instrument for the cognition of this matter. Gradually it adjusts itself to its function, tries to overcome its limitations, creates ever new scientific methods, imagines even more complex and exact instruments, checks its work yet again, steps by step, penetrates into previously unknown depths, changes our conception of matter without, though, ever breaking away from the basis of all that exists. Sounds more true. Neuroscience. Voltaire suffered a blood clot during infancy which resulted in a left hemisphere stroke. By result, in normal adults, the left hemisphere is used for language and other cognitive functions. Extensive damage to this part of the brain results in severe cognitive deficiencies. Observed result, Voltaire is now 17 years old and displays only very subtle cognitive deficiency. MRIs indicate little to no activity in the left hemisphere, suggesting its usual functions have been taken on by neurons set to the right. Voltaire's age at the time of stroke may have helped the brain to adapt. Yeah, I hear that as far as I know, the brain is more adaptable and plastic when we're young. It's better time adjusting to damage and re-exciting functions and such. We lose that plasticity over age, which is, well, not growing old, I suppose. Growing set. Sometimes I wonder if that's loss of plasticity it also sometimes means that old people cannot accept new ideas. You know the ones. Right, we have one green, which I saw that first, and it is right here. Slightly elevated sigil. Okay, but I must ask. Ah, I get it now. Simple, simple. Okay. There we go. Just have to delay it a little bit. Aha! So if I take this over here and reconnect, then I can get it. Okay, okay. And I can enter the land of sea now. Interesting, just had to do that.